What's going on, guys? Andrew Piluk Hockey here, back with another video. So this Leaf game review, of course they lost 5-4 to the Detroit Red Wings, is going to be a bit of a mix, because this video is going to be a game review mixed with a couple rants, okay? Now, I know people like the game reviews and some people even like the rants. Forgive me, this isn't going to be me trashing somebody or a player or whatnot. I'm just going to give my thoughts on the game. I apologize for not doing some game reviews recently. Some of the games have gone on to, 10:30 at night, and, some of those nights I really just want to get a good sleep. I'm going to keep trying to do that, but just understand that I'm not just ignoring the videos. I just didn't feel up to it as I was pretty tired. Anyways, the Leafs lose 5-4 to the Detroit Red Wings, and this was the game that William Nylander made his debut this season. So, let's get to the first big rant, and this is probably going to be the biggest rant of the whole video. I'll get to Sparks later, but let me just say something. First of all, the Sparks thing isn't going to be negative. I just need to get to it. The William Nylander thing is, I have a massive headache over this. All of the stuff that's been going on in the past couple months with, is he going to sign, is he going to be traded, this, that, and the other. Nylander signed and it's great. But there's still that group of Leaf fans that are waiting that little second for him to do anything wrong, and they're going to be on his back. Let me just say something to you guys right now. If this was Mitch Marner or Austin Matthews, you would not be talking about them like this. They can do no wrong in Leafs Nation. I love them. They're both great players. But if this was not William Nylander, if this was Marner or Matthews, you would not be treating them the same way. And that's just how it goes. William Nylander is a fantastic hockey player, and I think a lot of people have forgotten how good this guy really is. I think there's a website called thepoint.com or something like that. It's on Twitter. You can look them up, type in The Point Hockey or something like that. They have a lot of stats proving that last year, William Nylander in the neutral zone is basically untouchable when it comes to the Toronto Maple Leafs. He's better at bringing the puck into the zone than basically anybody on the team, and he does a lot of great things. He makes a lot of passes to the slot. He's #1 on the Leafs, and I believe he was like #1 in the NHL, or at least in the top 3. He does a lot of great things, and he puts up points, and his best days aren't even in front of, or are still in front of him. He's still going to get better. He hasn't hit his potential. He's not even close. Let me tell you about this. We're going to talk about Nylander, and then I'm not going to talk about him for the rest of the game. He was on the first line with Matthews and Marleau, if that's what you want to call the first line. He was there. He got put down to the third line because they needed to switch it up. It started to work. In the third period, he only played about 2 minutes. He didn't play the rest of the game. Yes, we get that. But guess what, guys? It was his first game back. There was no preseason games for him. He didn't even get into a practice, which Mike Babcock also said after the game, if you watch his press conferences. If the head coach, one of the best coaches in NHL history, is saying it's not even fair for Nylander because he didn't even get a practice in, I'm not sure you sitting on the couch with your bag of chips, dipping it in salsa, doing that, I'm not going to get into that because I was going to get really rude there. William Nylander is just fine. You can take your salty BS comments somewhere else. And if you leave them down here, you're getting blocked. Because it's just stupid. Please don't be one of those fans. Please. Nobody wants you to comment on stuff when you don't know what you're talking about. You have absolutely no clue what you're talking about. None. William Nylander is a good hockey player. This was his first game back. I'm going to try this analogy because I was just thinking of this before I started this video. Let's say, let's relate it to the music world, okay? Let's use Justin Timberlake. Fantastic artist, proven, whatever. Don't take this to heart. I love Justin Timberlake. I've seen him twice in concert. Fantastic. Let's say he puts out 2 albums, okay? 2 really good albums. So Nylander, 2 really good seasons, okay? Then he takes a bit of a break. And then he puts out another album and you're like, okay, here we go. Same thing with Nylander. He comes back after a break and you're excited. The first track on the album isn't so hot. First game for Nylander isn't so hot. Do you just go, well, CD's over, can't listen to this again, this guy sucks? No, you don't. And you don't do the same thing with Nylander. You don't do that with any player. You don't do that with artists. You give them a chance. You turn on track 2. You tune into game 2. and you follow that player because they've got a good track record and they're still not even at the best that they can do. You don't give up on somebody that quick. It was one damn game. And if you think that I'm just making this up for video content, go and search his name on Twitter. You have no idea how many people want this guy out of the team after one game. He didn't even practice. And you know what's funny? You guys can't even hang up his skates. You can't even put on his jock strap. And you're telling me that William Nylander's not valuable for this team? He shouldn't be playing, getting paid too much? Give me a break. Let's get to the game here. Willie, welcome back. Can't wait to see him continue to torch the league, and he's going to be just fine. To the people that, honestly, I really wish I could curse in these videos. I really do. Let's try to do a recap here, not too long. I've already spent the first 6 minutes of this video complaining. Anyways, 5-4 for Detroit. The Leafs weren't that great tonight. The third period, they were great. First 2 periods, they looked awful. Garrett Sparks got the start. It was kind of weird this morning. Nobody knew if he was going to start. And he was facing former Leaf Jonathan Bernier. Bernier faced 31 shots, 4 goals against for 27 saves. Sparks had 32 shots against, allowed 5, and made 27 saves. Let's get into this. Kasperi Kapanen scored his 11th of the season from Gardner and Janssen about 5 minutes into the game. Just a quick little bang-in goal there. Good for Cappy to keep that rolling. He can score on any line, it looks like, and he's got that speed, so good for him. The tying goal was the only goal and the overtime goal, which I thought that Sparks had no chance on. Jonathan Ericsson scored from the point, kind of a screen. I believe it was from the point. Or am I thinking of a different goal? Regardless, Jonathan Ericsson, this one was not Sparks' fault. The second of the year from Vanek. The second goal. Now, a lot of people were saying that Sparks really didn't have a chance on this one. And this one was scored by Luke Glendening, his 4th of the year from Cronwall, the dude who, again, I'm just going to get this out of the way too. I didn't like the Cronwall hit on Matthews. I don't care what anybody says. That hit was unnecessary. He wasn't even attempting to go for the puck, and he made a hit that shouldn't have happened. It was blatant interference, and it was also a very stupid hit, and that has no place in the game. I'm not going to talk about that anymore. Jacob Delarose also assisted this one. The Glendening goal Sparks should have had. Now, a lot of people are saying, well, you know, don't blame everything on Sparks. Nobody's blaming everything on Sparks, and if you are, then shame on you. That second goal, he should have stopped it. I don't care what anybody says, that's a positional save. You have a chance to make that save. He was on his feet too quickly. He saw the puck go across, and better positioning, maybe he makes that save. But this is not one of those things where you're like, okay, Sparks needs to get out. Like, the guy should have had coverage on the guy that was wide open. But you'd like Sparks to have that one is my point. Anyways, somebody should have been on him. Then we seen a Gustav Nyquist goal from Dylan Larkin and Mike Green. You know what? I can't remember what this goal was. I'm pretty sure this one was on the delayed penalty or whatever. Oh, this is the one that I wanted to talk about. Sparks was, this one is totally the worst goal of the night on Sparks. When the puck came across, he stayed down, still no shot, and he left the whole glove side open. This was an awful goal. He should have been up on his feet. Definitely not a good goal, and he's probably going to have nightmares about that one. But after one, it was 3-1 for the Detroit Red Wings. In the second period, again, another goal that Sparks probably wishes he had. Mike Green from the point, from Martin Frk. I don't even know how to say his name, and Gustav Nyquist again. But yeah, Sparks just lost sight of the puck on this one. Definitely should have had it in my opinion, but again, people might disagree. To the third we go, and this is where the Leafs exploded. John Tavares ripped a really nice shot for his 18th of the season. Good for him for scoring at a high volume. Morgan Riley and Gardner with the assists, and the Leafs were right back into this game. Then we seen Zach Hyman out front after a beautiful play from Mitch Marner to get the puck in. That was Hyman's 7th of the year from Ozhiganov and, of course, Marner. Then we seen the tying goal where a lot of people thought Matthews made this play on purpose, and I don't blame you. I kind of thought he did too, but it went off a Red Wings defender, right off of a leg, hit into the boards. Andreas Janssen put himself in a good position, and he tied the game for his 6th of the season, and now, of course, that was from Matthews and Kapanen. Then we went to overtime, and this is where I thought maybe we'd see Nylander again regardless. I think Nylander played good. I didn't want to talk about him again. But Dylan Larkin, off of a giveaway from John Tavares. Unfortunately, they got a little bit too fancy there. I really wish they would have put a puck on net in that instance. They were kind of getting dominated a little bit with puck possession. But Larkin scored his 11th of the season from Gustav Nyquist, who had a really good night with the leg kick, and then he went 5-hole. Just a good move. Sparks couldn't really do much about that one. Just a really nice goal. Out of the 5, I really think Sparks could have had 3 of them. And again, you can disagree all you want. I played hockey my whole life. I'm 22 years old. I'm not saying I'm an expert or I'm some goalie coach. Well, I have goalie coached for multiple years. But the thing is I played goalie for a really long time. I had a lot of very, very talented goalie coaches, including goalie coaches that were NHL goaltenders. I went to camps, everything. I played at a decently high level for a lot of years. Those goals are the ones that goalies always get crapped on for. I wouldn't necessarily be at Sparks' neck, but as a goalie, you don't want to hear it, but you should have had them. 3 out of the 5, and I think it's reasonable. Sparks would probably say the same thing, that he wished he had better positioning on some of them. But again, this video is super long. The Leafs got a point after being down 4-1. I guess you can't hate it too much, but they just didn't show up in the first 2 periods. And yeah, you know, Nylander's going to be great this season, so I don't think a lot of people should be too worried. And same thing with Garrett Sparks. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you're new, make sure you subscribe. Love to have more hockey conversations with you. Join the squad. Let's get to 4,000 subscribers. I try to say that I wanted to get to 5K by the end of this year. I've got less than a month to do it, so if you'd like to be a part of that, I'd really appreciate it. Anyways, make sure to click that notification bell. Check out all the links down below. I'll see you guys in the next video or stream. Peace.